On this sheet, I'm showing the data and a scatter plot for the pricing and quantity data for Tropicana at store 9. So I have a scatter plot of points that show price quantity pairs for each week. And I have this line here, kind of goes through the cloud of points. And I can change this line by changing the intercept and or the slope for the line over here in cell C6. So right now the intercept is 120,000. If this line kept going up, 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 it would hit the y-axis at 120,000. I can reduce that. Let's say I make it 100,000. So then the line moved down. I left the slope at minus 35,000. I could change that. Say I increase that to minus 37,000. So then the slope changed. So I have this interactive graph where what gets graphed is affected by values on my spreadsheet. So what if I want to find the best fit line? There's lots of ways to think about what a best fit would be. But on this sheet and in this module, we'll define that as the line that passes through the center of the cloud of points, minimizing the square difference between each point and the line. We're going to add up all of those squared distances or squared differences. So I have that total squared difference calculated here on the sheet. And if I want to minimize that, well, I can play around with setting the values and see how that number changes. But that's not very systematic. To systematically find the minimum value that the total squared difference can take on, I can use the solver tool. I've added solver in, and so it appears as an option here in my analysis group on my data menu. So I bring up solver, and it's asking me, what do I want to set? I want to set cell F8, which contains my total squared difference, to a minimum by changing the cells that contain the slope and the intercept of the line, cells C6 and C7. In this problem, I don't have any constraints, and I don't want my unconstrained variables to be non-negative. I don't want the slope to have to be non-negative. It might very well be negative, because the relationship, I would expect the relationship between price and quantity to be negative. The higher the price, the less quantity also. So I'm going to uncheck that box. All right, my graph is still back there, but I have everything I need to set in my solver parameters dialog box. So I then just click solve. And it's working, and it found a solution. Solver found a solution. So I say OK, and so it set these values of the intercept and the slope that minimize the total squared difference. And in setting these values, it also drew this line on the chart according to those values. So that's solver. Solver isn't necessarily installed with Excel. You might need to add it in, and I'm not going to cover that in this video. But once you have it in, this is how you use it.